Right, welcome to Toffee TV. This is a bit of a catch-up, pre-season catch-up. It's about 8 million degrees in here, so, you know, if any was faint during the show, it is so hot, plus there's lights. It's ridiculous. Now and again I will be sipping large drinks because it is so warm. Sorry, Jake.
Where's my one?
I asked you, you said no.
I said yeah.
You said no. I'd get as if I wouldn't make you a drink.
Anyway, we digress.
This is the treatment.
So first game over the weekend.
You should be making a drink.
No, you're the tea boy.
I'm not making tea though.
Ribena, who's
First game over the weekend, Everton played FK.
Jabalanech.
Jabalanech. FC.
FK.
FCJ.
Anyway, we played in a closed, behind closed doors friendly in Austria against the Dutch side. Czech. Sorry, it's whatever. I don't know. And it was a 1-0 win. Was it 20 players used, something like that? Lots of youngsters playing, and yeah, good run out. Supposed to be no Evertonians there, but the shout of "get the bar, Mick" and stuff like that could be clearly heard over the on the feed I was watching, which is quite funny. So there was I think there's around 15 to 20 Blues there. So you were one of them. Amazing,
well played.
Amazing. Especially to probably all be in Germany in a couple of weeks as well. So I mean, you watched the game, Baz. I mean, thoughts on the run out? I mean, without. I'm not really going to talk about too much, but
no, I mean it was what it was. It was a game on a farmer's field. Beautiful scenery.
Farmer's field, was it?
It didn't look great, to be honest. The ball was a bit bobbly. I mean, listen, it was useful in terms of the lads just getting back out. It was a heavy week. You could see that the legs were a little bit heavy. Things were laboured at times, but it was good to see the young lads. That Tom Davis playing at right back, which was a bit strange, was good again. You know, this kid's just he's just an athlete there. He's a big, strong lad. He's good on the ball. You know, he just loves to tackle. He was really good. Mason Holgate, I thought, looked quite good. Him and Brendan Galloway at centre half, I thought done really well. And it was useful. Interesting
change though, isn't it? That we've started with just a little bit of a training match rather than going into a full. You've seen a lot of other teams having full-on friendlies, and we've done it in the past, but we started with a nice heavy week and we finished it off with a nice sort of training game, almost like that was the carrot at the end of the week. You've got a game at the end of the week, and without any big build up to it. Or
it was good to see the likes of Kieran. I don't think Leandro wasn't really in the game, and he'll be a little bit disappointed. But I thought Kieran Dowell done well, popping up all over the pitch. Morales was you forget what a good footballer he is. He was popping up all over the pitch, so it was good. And then obviously in the second half made changes. Stekelenburg, we got to see him for the first time. Looks really good in the kit. Didn't come off his line a lot though, which was a little bit concerning. But no, it was good. There was a bit more organisation. The little things, people who didn't see it were like, could you definitely see a difference in the way we play and all that? Well,
we scored from a set piece. Yes, there is.
The first goal of Ronald Koeman's tenure came from a set piece. The parasite footballers I tweeted at the weekend. But I think there was little things like they weren't afraid to mix it. They went short and then they go long, which is a nice little change, people. But you can't really take anything from that. It'll be as we go forward.
I like seeing Jake. Like seeing last week though, Everton with all the videos of crosses and headers and set pieces.
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
Just different. You know what I
mean? It's just free kicks and everything. It's a change of pace, isn't it? You know what I mean? This is what we've been looking forward to, something different.
It was the idea of the club though, actually putting them on.
I know, it was
brilliant. It was brilliant. It was
shut up. Listen, there you go. Just have it. Have it.
I don't even think it was like that though. I think it was more like going,
Yes,
lads. It's back, lads. It's back.
I just love the picture of some of them in the training when he was doing the set piece stuff and like Lennon and that was like, what's this? I haven't done this for a few years.
I seen the ass score a header as well.
He scored a couple. A good little finish as well.
That's good.
He come on at the weekend at half time, and he ran around. He ran around a bit more. He actually helped the farmer out. He'd do he's done a couple of good things, followed by falling over. He done a great little turn, shaped up edge of the box and fell over himself.
Nothing's going to go for this kid.
Denny Paolo one-chopped him his way through, about 4 men and hit the post, fallen, and got a shot away. And you just think, is he only one of them strikers that it just doesn't break to in the box, you know? And
It's not going to happen, is it?
it just...
Well, there's been talk of obviously leaving amongst the other 8 million rumours this weekend. Him leaving the club is obviously a big rumour now, and because I would imagine that Ronald Koeman will have assessed him over the last few weeks, and will have a good idea of whether he thinks he's a good enough footballer now. So obviously there's talk of him being moved. Actually, I think there's talk of him being moved on loan, which would be interesting. But obviously we don't know. We haven't really got a clue at the moment. We don't know. Club's keeping everything very, very tight. But loads of rumours. I mean, it's getting a bit annoying now, isn't it? Not that I'm not annoyed by the fact that we haven't signed anyone. I'm just annoyed by the amount of rumours. But I suppose if there wasn't any rumours about our players, people would be about players we were looking to bring in. People would be more angry.
I think it's part of the course, isn't it? You've got some money. Listen, everyone's got money this summer, but you know, for Everton, it's a totally new thing. And I think I suppose the key thing to take out of it for me is the fact that the press, who are releasing these rumours now, are putting them into a price bracket that Everton would have just been laughed at if Everton would have been in after these kind of
41 million for the centre back. That's
what I mean. And saying things like they'll blow Chelsea out the water and Bayern Munich out the water. It just sounds a bit berserk about Everton, doesn't it? But the fact that Everton are now being held in them conversations shows you that there's definitely a shift. I mean, Liverpool get linked with 100 players every summer and sign maybe 4 of them, but it's always them. You start going, why would they go there? Now are they after him? And it's just because it's there, and it's Everton are now in that bracket.
Funny enough, I mean, you mentioned Liverpool. Klopp's actually come out and said the Liverpool fans expect us to be signing all these top players, then they need to just pack it in, which is quite interesting that they've done that. But we just keep everything close to our chest, aren't we? And we've been linked with players, and I'm sure some of them we've inquired or we've been offered or we're looking at, and that's the way it is, isn't it?
I mean, this week things are moving more than they were last week. That's the way to look at it. So we are edging towards that time where he starts to bring in.
Have you been disappointed, Jake, by the lack of signings?
Not really, no, because end of the day, it's a new manager, isn't he? He needs to look at his squad, see his youngsters as well. He needs to see like what talent he's got to bring in. Maybe like I've heard that he would rather use youngsters or homegrown talent.
What have you heard, Jake? What have you heard? Where did you hear this?
Just rumours again. But it's just nice to see that he's looking at like our talent before making any hasty decisions. Well, he could buy an absolute marquee sign or whatever, but he could be awful, you know what I mean? I'd rather not have that. I'd rather just take your time with it and see how it goes for it.
Baz, we've already mentioned too, Nias, we paid a lot of money for, and Leandro. And we haven't seen anything of Leandro apart from was it League Cup? FA Cup, yeah, sorry. And then went on loan, and we haven't really seen it. And then Nias. So, you careful what you wish for. I mean, when Martinez came in, I've said this before, he went back to Wigan and bought Joe Robles, Alcaraz, and Koeman, right? And got Delafeu as well. So, exactly. And then didn't get, but then Delafeu wasn't used till like October anyway. So, and then the rest of the players were all signed on deadline day. So we all felt better because we signed a few players, but we didn't really get anything out of them. We still haven't got, apart from Robles, I mean, Delafeu obviously came on and got better, but those players were like, everyone was made up because we signed a few players, whereas he's looking at it and being a little bit more.
But I think when you come in, when you're a manager like Koeman and you've come in, it's easy to go, we want X, Y and Z, I want to buy them now. But if he hasn't seen Everton plays up close, it's difficult, because you could then go and pay 20, let's say Carvalho, right? Everton paid 25 million for him, and he comes in and he's decent, but then he looks around and he looks at Mo Bezic, who he's never really looked at before, and goes, hang on, he looks like he might be able to do that job. And then you're trying to fit Bezic in, and I know we've seen him, so we could say, well, McCarthy, what does he do? Koeman might go, well, James, you need to do this and this, and that might save him that, but it's a tough one, because we want to see signings because we can make videos and be excited by it, but the reality is he knows exactly what he wants. He's got players, things are moving now, so they're all going to come to fruition very shortly. But up until now, he's got to assess what he has, because we need players, but we also have a team that was mismanaged unbelievably for 2 seasons. Definitely for 1 season, it was incredibly mismanaged, and people are going, we were 11th last year and everything else, but the reality was, with a decent manager, we'd have been 6th or 7th.
I mean, what I would say is, I mean, you know, we've heard loads of rumours and all that, but they're nothing, they're just rumours, and then people getting upset because rumours are not true. Don't get so invested in the rumours in the first place, and just go along with it. We've heard, like, you know, Witzel's like touting himself out to every club in the world. Juan Mata clearly wants to stay at Man United because it's Man United. Understandably, he's not being disrespectful to any club. He's just saying, I want to play for Man United. I'm happy, and you know, if he ends up being forced out, then that might be a different matter. But so you got that. But but on the flip side, when you, like you were just saying, when you've got Leighton Baines, you know, like a senior member of the squad coming out going, this is boss. I'm enjoying this. He's buzzing about the new season. He's ready. He's looking forward to it. You know, he's ready. Yeah, they're all looking happy and ready, and feel like it's a new lease of life for them, and that's important as well.
Jack Elker as well. I mean, Jack's never really says
how tanned.
I was very
looks.
But I was watching him the other day, and you can see the excitement there, but also that thing of, I know I've got to get my head down here because this fella, to impress this fella, and the bits and pieces that I've heard from Austria is that he kind of walks in the room and the players sit up and they're taking notice of him, and I think you've heard a couple of the players say it anyway, but you're not really going to argue with him, because you can't say to him, hang on, what have you won? Because he's just about won everything. You can't say, what have you done as a manager? Because he's managed and been successful. So, and he just looks doubly hard, doesn't he? So therefore,
and on the flip side of that, all those players now know that their places can be under pressure because we have got money to buy players. So if Jag Gelfrey might have been for the last few years, I mean, don't get me wrong, he wouldn't have been, but there would have been players in the last 10-15 years at Everton that no, their place was secure because there wasn't the financial muscle to move them on. Because if you wanted to replace someone, you'd have a list and go, well, we need a striker, and that player might be like 5th down the list, and he might think it's going to be a while before anyone replaces me. Tony Ibbott, for instance. You know, that's the way it was. You know, if you had a dependent player at a certain position, you kept hold of him. You weren't too worried about that. But now every player will be thinking, I need to watch myself here. I could be replaced by a big name player. But going back to what you were saying before, Jake, about the kids, he got a couple of kids, new contacts today. Callum Connolly, who you know, looked like he was impressing at the end. Got a little.
He made his debut against Southampton.
Yeah, got in there and had and Conor Grant, who was on loan at Doncaster,
and was out of contract.
Yeah, and looked like he scored a couple of cracking goals. Now he had him training last week, and he's obviously done enough for him to get a new contract.
And he come on at half time at the weekend and looked all right.
But he was playing. He didn't have a contract, so he wasn't an Everton player per se, but stuck around, and he's
played for Motherwell as well, hasn't he? Motherwell and Doncaster, he's had spells at, so he's played in league football where it matters, so he's clearly got something there as well.
But he's obviously had a look at him and thought, there's something there, and I will keep hold of this kid. But on the flip side of that, you've got Conor McAlely, who's 24, playing with the under-21s in Spain, with I think he's in his last year of his contract, no idea of what's, he was at Wigan last season, maybe he's waiting for Wigan to come in for him.
Done really well at Wigan as well.
Fantastic at Wigan.
Brilliant goals.
It's funny because we had a conversation about Conor last summer when he scored against Swindon pre-season game. We were like, you know, it's now or never. Martinez had not give him no chance. Now, I don't know whether he's waiting for the likes of Wigan to come and get him. I don't know, but
never gonna know with the lad because they've never given him a go, have they really? So he won't know himself. He'll still be a little bit unsure.
It's a shame, like, because he's
had a couple of bad injuries.
Goal scorer, and he said like the injuries as well. But every time he's on loan, he's done well. Like, didn't he score like 3 goals for like a few seasons ago on loan? Then he broke his leg, didn't he? For the rest of the season. And like, it just looked a shame because I thought that might have been his breakthrough. Then play for Everton like regularly, but I think it's just going to be another Shane Duffy for him. He's just not got out for him, maybe.
I just think
he moves on. You reinvent like Duffy did. Duffy went to Blackburn and ended up playing in the Orient. So it's about reinventing.
It just seems a bit weird that I don't know. He's still contracted to Everton. You've got to do something with him, so they put him with the under-21s. So clearly someone at the club's mind's made up about that situation. Last couple of points, playing Barnsley on Saturday. I'll be there. Playing Barnsley, so that's a first chance for Blues to see competitive, like a competitive game. Obviously not but competitive football under Ronald Koeman, which will be really interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Now there's obviously the Steve Walsh situation, which is quite important, I suppose. Director of football, Everton looking to bring him in. He's at Leicester, done a fantastic job at Leicester in terms of recruitment, brought in a lot of those players that have helped them win the league. Leicester have rejected an approach. Do you think that'll be the end of it?
No, because I think Everton wouldn't have made the approach if they hadn't got encouragement from Steve Walsh. So obviously when someone encourages you, it means he wants to go. He's just signed a new contract, so he's not trying to get a better contract out of Leicester, is he? So I think if Everton have made their mind up that they want him, and they clearly have, Ronald Koeman's been fully compliant in that process, or complicit rather, in that process, then Everton will go back to him. Leicester, you'd expect Leicester to want to keep him, wouldn't you? They're trying to keep everything together, and it's falling around, it's falling apart, around them at the moment, isn't it? With the likes of Kante going to Chelsea, Mahrez apparently wants out, the uncertainty will be there. Everton are linked heavily with Kasper Schmeichel as well, so they could lose 3 or 4 of their top players. He wants out, the key of the works, they'll see it as. But I expect Everton to get the man, because I think it showed with Ronald Koeman when Farhad Moshiri's mind's made up. It's difficult to sway him.
Do you think Ronald Koeman will have had any kind of role in identifying Steve Walsh? Where do you think Everton will have looked to get him? Because although when you look at it, it would be a clever appointment. It's not like he's not like a Sammer or a Monchi. He's not necessarily like a director of football type. He's more of a recruitment of player type.
I think Koeman has been well involved in the process and will have identified them. He's probably come across them a few times in certain things. Everton were big for Monchi, but obviously he's decided to stay. It looks like he's decided to stay at Seville, and won't be going to PSG because Kluivert's just gone there, hasn't he? So obviously Everton wanted him and couldn't get him. I think they stepped away from Mark Overmars for whatever reason. I think again Koeman would have been involved in that. So they've taken the time, and Steve Walsh is the name that they've come up with, and they've come up with his name for a reason, haven't they? They'll have done the homework on it. Yeah. And now it comes down probably to a compensation package and getting Leicester to go. Leicester won't really want to lose him at this stage, will he?
He's just signed a new 2-year contract.
Signed a new contract, and it's transfer window time, so therefore people he will have identified for Leicester. Everton with a bit of money behind them, will they just go and trump them? I don't know whether he could come to some kind of arrangement where it's, listen, don't go after A, B and C because you've identified them for us. I don't know, but at the minute you'd expect Leicester not to just go, but
Leicester, from a Leicester point of view, they can't be seen as like just shipping, can they? They've just lost Conte and as you mentioned, there could be other players that leave them, and at the paper it's sad in a way, isn't it? It's sad. I find it quite sad for them. But I'm saying that I probably would swap their positions. I'd rather be a team that have just won the Premier League and lose all the players than be a team trying to bring people, like trying to recreate that magic, to be honest. It's sad. I feel
it's rubbish for footy, isn't it?
But then again, they've just had that magical season, and I don't think anything will ever top that for them. I know they'll say, but they're in the Champions League, but
they've still got Ranieri. If he goes, they just replace him with someone. They've already got someone who does half the job anyway, I believe, so he could step into it. They might have a little process there, go on, and for them, I suppose, from their perspective, Walsh is probably not going to turn around and go, all right then, I won't go, I'll stay. How focused is he then once someone's made their mind up to leave? And at that, players are a little bit different because they'll put the shirt back on, and after a few weeks they'll get back on it because do you want to do it? Him himself, if his head's being turned by Everton, how committed is he gonna be there to then wanting to
What do you think? I mean, what do you think will have, you know, if he, let's say he has decided to leave Leicester, what do you think will be the thing that's convinced him to come to Everton?
Farhad Moshiri.
I know, but yeah, I understand that.
Because I think,
is it because he's going to get the keys, basically?
I think probably, yeah, because he is going to get the keys to the kingdom, and he's going to be the man that Everton, whether other people like it or not, Everton are a big draw. He's
his brother played for Everton.
Exactly. So he's from the local, was he at Cronton or taught in Cronton School or something, I believe, when he was younger.
Is he from Chorley?
So he's from the northwest. He knows Everton are a massive club. There's a lot of potential at Everton. Working with Ronald Koeman, Farhad Moshiri, the plans will have been laid out to him in terms of what they want Everton to achieve. Moshiri wants Everton to be, of course there'll be money, but Moshiri wants Everton to be a force, and there's a lot of things in that, and anyone who's having doubts about that, we got Ronald Koeman out of Southampton when he was quite comfortable, and if you listen to him and he talks about the plans that convinced them to come and everything else, they're not just built on sand, they're real.
Walsh could be like, I mean, he's made Leicester champions, but he's like, I could make Everton the club, you know what I mean, with his signings, hopefully. I mean, he might want to be like known for like his signings, you know, like Monchi's like, he's known for the director of football. At the end of the day, Walsh might be like, I want to be that guy.
At the end of the day,
he might want to come to Everton just for that.
His title at Leicester is he's one of the assistant managers, isn't he? Because he's like recruitment and coaching. Now, if they've said to him, we want you to fix yourself on this one role, which means that your day-to-day stuff is not on the training ground and is purely looking for people and purely putting deals together, he might go, that's exactly what I want to do. Do you know what I mean? Or he might have said, we'll tailor it to whatever you want to do, we just want you at the club. And, you know, financially it might work, location it might work, might just want a new challenge. Do you know what I mean? He might have obstacles at Leicester that, you know, stop him from doing the job he wants to do. And Everton might have just said, well, we will give you the job you want to do, basically. And we'll wait and see. Obviously, at the moment, he's still very much a Leicester employee, but we'll wait and see if. But Everton have sort of set the stall out, haven't they, for what they want. Ronald Koeman is very much part of the process. Part of he wants to work with somebody who goes and looks at players and probably they'll. You know, it all seems amicable, so that they're all on the same page. Because what you wouldn't want is, yeah, you're the manager, but bring in this fella in, he's going to buy all the players for you.
I don't think I don't think Everton is working like that. I think there's a clear plan, and
but that's
following the process.
But that's where it's fallen down in the past, and that's why people get scared about the word director of football. They think the director of football undermines the manager, or the manager undermines the director of football, and that's where people get scared. You know, you read it in the
But it didn't happen at Southampton.
No, it didn't. And to be fair, Les Reed's still going out and buying players now. He's identified them before, and he's continuing that same way. It's just having a manager manage them. So we'll see.
From Bayern, didn't he?
He what, sorry?
He's just bought
for like 13-14 million.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him. He'll probably end up boss. But that's his job to do that, isn't it? And that's what we want. And well, let's see what happens. So we'll wait and see. Tell us what you think in the comments about the pre-season so far. Are you happy with no business? No, are you happy in a general sense? Because I am. I'm happy.
We're moving forward. We're moving in the right direction, and things will happen.
As we've said, you've got to assess our own players. You've got to identify players that will fit into what we want to do, and that doesn't happen in the space of 3 or 4 weeks.
You might have targets of Southampton, but it doesn't mean it's going to necessarily work for us. You know what I mean? Like, just people need to just relax.
And also,
it's exciting times.
This is the beginning. And the director of football, and if it doesn't happen in this window, then maybe it'll happen in the next window. If it doesn't happen in the next one, maybe it'll happen next summer. It's not something that will just click overnight. It needs time, and it won't be just like first day of the season, everything. It's a process, and
it's happening.
It is happening. It's happening right now.
Things are happening
while you're watching.
Right now.
Things might have happened while you're watching. It might be breaking while you're watching.
We're telling you. It's bubbling right now.
We can't
leave it at that. Yeah. That's it. Say no more. Done.
Leave it there. Baz has said it. Thanks for watching.